Welcome to this explainer. The ocean isn't just some massive body of water. It's a majestic, totally vibrant living realm that connects literally every single continent and sustains life as we know it. But for the longest time, humanity honestly didn't treat it with the respect it deserves. Well, today, we're exploring a really bright, hopeful story about global unity. We're going to look at the legal and philosophical shields that we've actually built to defend our blue planet, and specifically, we'll be examining the landmark international agreements designed to stop the unchecked pollution of our seas. Okay, let's dive into this. To actually understand how we protect the ocean, we first have to clearly define the threat. According to Article 3 of the convention we're examining today, dumping has a very specific legal definition. It means any deliberate disposal at sea of wastes or other matter from vessels, aircraft, platforms, or, other man-made structures. It even includes deliberately sinking the vessels or platforms themselves. But importantly, this definition explicitly excludes the disposal of wastes that are just incidental to or derived from the normal, everyday operations of those vessels and platforms. So we're targeting the deliberate, large-scale use of the ocean as a giant trash can. Section 1, Forging the First Shield, the 1972 London Convention. So to really get the picture, we have to go all the way back to 1972. Imagine the scene for a second. Nations from all around the globe gathering in London, bathed in the optimistic light of a brand new environmental era, uniting to draw a line in the surf against marine pollution. Starting in 1972, this shield had to evolve as our understanding of environmental threats grew, and a truly monumental victory happened with the 1993 amendments, which officially entered into force in 1994. These amendments entirely banned the dumping of low-level radioactive wastes into the sea. That's huge. They also mandated the phase-out of industrial waste dumping by the end of 1995 and banned incinerating industrial wastes at sea completely. It was just this epic progression of global cooperation, leading right up to the adoption of the London Protocol in 1996, which officially went into active force in 2006. Section 2. The Armor Upgrade, a paradigm shift in legal philosophy. The 1996 London Protocol, well, it wasn't just some minor tweak to the rules. It was a massive, revolutionary upgrade that eventually replaces the original 1972 convention completely. So what did this paradigm shift actually look like? Under the old 1972 rules over on the left, the strategy was basically to list the known hazardous materials that you could not dump, or that required special permits. If it wasn't on the bad list, it was generally considered okay with a standard permit. But the 1996 protocol on the right flips the entire script. It boldly prohibits all dumping entirely. Nothing goes in the water. That is, except for a very small, strictly controlled set of possibly acceptable wastes known as the reverse list. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive philosophical shift. We literally went from ban the known bad to ban absolutely everything unless proven safe. Section 3. The reverse list. The VIP clearance. So think of this reverse list as the ultimate exclusive VIP clearance for the ocean. Under the new protocol, all dumping is prohibited except for this highly regulated group. And look, just because an item is on this list definitely doesn't mean you can just toss it overboard willy-nilly. These still require strict prior permits and exhaustive scientific studies. So what actually makes the cut? Well, first we have dredged material, that's the sand and silt moved to keep waterways navigable. Second, sewage sludge. Third, fish waste or material resulting from industrial fish processing operations. And fourth, vessels and platforms or other man-made structures at sea. Again, these aren't just discarded carelessly, they're managed under strict international oversight to ensure the marine environment remains totally unharmed. Continuing with the permitted list, we have inert, inorganic, geological material, and organic material of natural origin. But check out item number 7, bulky items. This is actually fascinating. It primarily comprises unharmful materials like iron, steel, and concrete, where the only real concern is physical impact. But here is the catch. This is strictly limited to very specific circumstances, like isolated small island communities that literally have absolutely no other practicable access to disposal options other than dumping. And finally, a truly futuristic addition, adopted in 2006, CO2 streams from carbon capture processes. Keep that in mind. We'll definitely come back to that one because it's incredibly important. But wait a second. What happens in the real world, out on the unpredictable, raging high seas? We kind of have to dramatically interrupt these strict rules for a moment to ask a vital question. What if human lives are at stake? What if a vessel is caught in some catastrophic storm, facing extreme danger or emergencies that pose unacceptable risks to human health? Does the shield hold so tight that it ends up endangering the very humans it ultimately serves? Well, the architects of the convention totally anticipated this cinematic plot twist. Under Article 5, these strict prohibitions do not apply in cases of force majeure, like severe stress of weather or any case constituting a real immediate danger to human life or vessels. But the criteria are incredibly tight. Dumping is only allowed if it appears to be the absolute only way of averting the threat, and if the resulting damage will be less than what would happen otherwise. Even in a literal life or death emergency, the dumping must be conducted in a way that minimizes the likelihood of damage to marine life, and it must be reported forthwith to the organization. Section 4. Enforcing global rules. The alliance in action. So, we've got the rules and we've got the emergency exceptions. But how does this global alliance actually enforce all of this? Because let's be real, a rule is only as strong as its enforcement. Well, national authorities are the ones who issue permits, keep rigorous records, and monitor the seas. And the jurisdictional reach of these rules across the high seas is vast. Every contracting party applies these measures to all vessels and aircraft registered in its territory or flying its flag. It also applies to any vessel loading matter right there in its territory that is intended to be dumped. The parties actually pledge to cooperate to punish conduct in contravention of the convention. Now, there is one notable exception here: vessels entitled to sovereign immunity under international law, like naval warships. However, even then, the treaty demands that state parties ensure those vessels still act in a manner consistent with the object and purpose of the convention. So basically, no one gets a truly free pass to pollute. Section 5. The Climate Engineering Future. Protecting Tomorrow. Today, we're stepping out of the past and looking toward a really vibrant horizon, where this foundational treaty is rapidly adapting to futuristic climate tech. The contracting parties are actively taking steps to mitigate the impacts of increasing atmospheric CO2, and they're regulating the cutting-edge technologies being developed to engineer our climate. This proactive stance is rooted in a deeply emotional and incredibly powerful legal concept from the 1996 Protocol. It states, appropriate preventative measures are taken when there is reason to believe that wastes or other matter introduced into the marine environment are likely to cause harm, even when there is no conclusive evidence to prove a causal relation. This is what's known as the precautionary approach. It basically means humanity isn't just sitting around waiting for the ocean to die before acting. We are taking responsibility right now. The protocol insists that the polluter should bear the cost of pollution, ensuring we don't just transfer damage from one part of the Earth to another. So, the crucial point is that the London Convention and Protocol are no longer just about stopping factories from dumping industrial sludge. They've evolved into the most advanced international regulatory instruments we currently have for addressing carbon capture and sequestration in subsea geological formations. They are literally the frontline defense regulating experimental marine climate engineering, things like ocean fertilization. All of this ensures that these shiny new technologies meant to save the planet don't accidentally cause irreparable harm to the marine ecosystem in the process. Which really leaves us with this visually striking and, honestly, vital question. How will we engineer the climate of tomorrow without destroying the oceans of today? We've seen how the Global Alliance came together to build this incredible shield against the reckless dumping of the past, and how they transformed that shield to face the incredibly complex climate technologies of the future. The rules are in place, the reverse list is actively monitored, and that precautionary approach guides us. But as our climate challenges keep growing, this delicate balance is going to be tested like never before. It's a fascinating, extremely high-stakes ongoing story, and I really hope this explainer has left you eager to learn more about the incredible systems out there defending our beautiful blue planet.